So I'm working in a school in South Korea. Oh, I found a student, Korean student. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What is your name?
I'm Song.
Uh-huh. Okay, so can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah.
So what are some differences in living in South Korea and USA?
I think USA, so transportation is very uncomfortable.
Oh,
But if you don't have a car, so it would be very uncomfortable in US life. Yeah, actually, however, in Korea, transportation is very comfortable. So we
okay, so second question is, what do people in Korea think about North Korea?
Uh, actually, I was in Navy 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
So, in my opinion, so I hate the North Korea.
You hate North Korea,
Yeah.
really?
So, most people felt sorry from North Korea because of dictator.
Detective. Okay, so what religion do you follow, or what religion do people in Korea follow?
So I don't have a religion, so, but many people are Christian or Buddhist or what's that another Christian.
Catholic?
Yeah, Catholic. Yeah.
So, how is dating or marriage in South Korea?
I think marriage is similar in USA, but dating is the most male pay for the all date fee, pay the all date fee for
So
woman.
men have to pay everything.
Yeah,
So, are there any arranged marriage?
arranged marriage.
Like, so can you choose marriage, or your parents choose who to marry?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
You can choose.
Yeah, I can choose. Yeah, I should choose. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so do you guys have any cool Korean traditions?
We have two biggest celebration. First one is New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
Yeah, and second one is it's like Thanksgiving Day in US.
Oh.
Yeah, so very similar.
Okay, thank you for answering my questions.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your school life.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning, guys. Welcome to Korean history class. Okay, so before there was only one country in Korean peninsula, but now there are two countries. One is North Korea and the other is South Korea. Why? So, as I said, there is only one country in Korean peninsula whose name is Goryeo. So now Korea is named after this country, Goryeo. And 1910, Japan controlled Korea. So Japan forced Korean people to speak in Japanese. So that is why Korean language and Japanese language are very similar to each other. So let me show some examples.
Family.
가족,
가족,
Appointment.
약속,
약속,
Bag.
가방,
가방,
Left triangle.
미묘한 삼각관계.
미묘나 삼각관계.
Okay, so as you just saw, Korean language and Japanese language are very similar to each other, right? It's very interesting. Then, during the World War II, Soviet Union occupied the north part and the US occupied the south part. So that is why this one country, Goryeo, was divided into two countries. One of them is now South Korea and the other one is North Korea. So Korea has kind of sad history and now those two countries are fighting against each other. It's sad.
Hey, hey class. Okay, so I'm looking at tradition and social norms here in South Korea. So the first thing that I looked at were any traditions that I could find. And something cool that I found were the traditional South Korean homes, and those are called hanoks. And what makes a hanok so special is the architectural design of these houses are pre-planned out before they are constructed. So ideally, they are made with a backyard, a mountain in your backyard, and a river in your front yard. And that has to do with heating and cooling the homes in like the winter and the summer seasons. So I'm actually sitting in a traditional South Korean home right now. And if I go out that front door right there, there's going to be a river outside. And then back there, there's a bunch of mountains. So since it's winter here, the house is very warm, so the mountains are doing their job. Something else that I found that's traditionally important here in South Korea is the clothing. And hanbok is the name for the traditional dress that they wear here. It's worn to marriage ceremonies, family get-togethers, traditional festivals, anything like that. People of all ages wear it, men, women, children, boys, girls, grandmas, grandpas. And people wear it with pride here because it connects them to their cultural identity, and it's very important. The hanbok is also the official government and national dress that's worn here. So that was very cool to learn about. I also learned that family is super important here in South Korea. It's really important in their everyday aspects, and yeah. Being in South Korea, I definitely learned the do's and don'ts of social behavior here and social norms. So I've made a short list to kind of share with you guys so you know what I've learned. In regards to dress and attire, you want to dress modestly and conservatively. Don't wear too much makeup, too much jewelry, anything like that. Table manners was a big thing I learned about. You don't just sit anywhere at the table. You're going to wait to be told where to be seated, kind of like at a restaurant. The oldest people are going to be served first, which I didn't know. And then in regards to chopsticks, there are lots of rules with chopsticks. Don't point them at people. Don't stab your food with them. Don't crisscross the ends of your chopsticks. And do not eat with your hands if you can't use the chopsticks. That you just have to learn how to deal with it. Try a little bit of everything. And don't refuse anything because that looks rude. And don't criticize the food if you don't like it. Now, in regards to tipping, or if you go out to a restaurant, it's not customary here in South Korea to tip your server, so don't do it. Next, I learned about giving gifts and accepting them. And when you give a gift to someone, you don't want it to be too expensive because then they can't reciprocate that act, and that's just not nice. Wrap your gifts in either red, yellow, or pink wrapping paper because those are happy colors or royal colors, and you want to stay away from green, white, and black. 7 is a lucky number, but 4 is an unlucky number. So don't give gifts in multiples of 4s. You want to give them in gifts of 7 so they get more anyways. When you greet somebody, you can shake their hand upon meeting them, or a bow is also traditional. You can smile, you can wave, but don't hug anybody on the first time of meeting them. And then socializing and conversation was also something I learned about. You can discuss sports or the economy, your family, anything like that, personal hobbies. You don't want to discuss politics, the Korean War, socialism, communism, things like that. And also don't confuse South Korea with any other Asian country because they will get offended by that. So yeah, that's what I learned when I looked into the traditions and the social norms here in South Korea. I'm going to go meet up with my group members now, so bye!
So I just checked into my hotel room in South Korea, and I think I'm gonna get unpacked and then take a look around the city and find some of the different churches around South Korea. So this is the Jeondong Catholic Church I found in South Korea, and it looks pretty similar to Catholic churches in the US. So in South Korea, these are the percentages of people that believe in certain religions, and the other half are non-religious. And finally, this is the Popchusa Temple in South Korea. So one of the holidays that they celebrate in South Korea is called Solal, and this is the first day of the lunar year, and they get together for a family gathering. These are just some of the foods that Koreans eat at Chuseok, and this is basically a Korean Thanksgiving only in August. So this is an example of the lantern parade in downtown Seoul for Buddha's birthday. And this happens usually at around April 8th each year. Here's a picture of a Korean baby having a blast at her first birthday party. So in South Korean culture, they only really celebrate 2 birthdays, and that's the 1st and the 60th. One of these ideas being that Koreans bow to each other wherever they go as a sign of respect, or saying thank you or you're welcome, just a polite gesture. Also, in Korean culture, it's seen as being very rude or disrespectful to have direct eye contact with whoever you're talking to. So, in South Korean culture, you're only supposed to physically touch or hug another Korean person if they're either friends or family. Otherwise, just stick to the bow. So when you have a traditional South Korean meal, what you're most likely going to find is rice, some sort of stew or soup, noodles, and then this picture right here is kimchi, and it's basically pickled vegetables such as cabbage, radishes, green onions, and things like that, and it can be flavored with red peppers, but almost always has a very rich garlic taste. So after the meal, the host may ask you to stay for dessert, which could be cookies and tea, or they may ask you to go out drinking, in which case you are never ever supposed to turn that down. So I just got back to my hotel. I had a great time today learning about some of the customs and beliefs and practices of the South Korean culture. So I'll see you later.
Together, we experienced and learned a lot of new things while in South Korea. South Korea is a very fun, dynamic, and culturally rich country. One of the most interesting things we learned about South Korea is their Korean pop culture, or K-pop for short. This genre of music is what Gangnam Style came from. Another interesting fact about the Korean culture is that teachers are one of the most respected occupations, and Korean students rank very high educationally compared to other countries. Overall, we enjoyed our experience very much and have a new respect and understanding for South Koreans. We now understand that South Koreans are very unique and have a culture that we can appreciate and maybe even adapt parts of their culture, such as food, music, and festivals, into our own. Finally back in Finley.
We had such a fun time in South Korea.
We learned a lot of different things over there.
안녕.
Bye.